KCAA.com. KCAA.
Yeah, this is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. We're here on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. San Bernardino, the heartbeat of the world, the center of the universe. A lot of people don't know that yet, but that's what we're here for, to let them know where it's all emanating from. Look, we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to start off talking about the good. We have an opportunity here to save you something that you just can't generate more of. I'm sorry, it just doesn't occur. There's no way for you to add more time to your calendar, except by not having maybe to use so much of it to go do the things that you have to do, want to do, need to do. We talk about supply lines. We talk about the ability to get done what we want done at the time we want it done, where we want it done. And we have to depend on so many other people and places and things to make that happen. One of the hardest things on the planet to deliver is justice. One of the hardest things on the planet to deliver is justice, because there's so many angles from which people look to see those things that they call injustice. We're going to talk about that a little bit toward the end of the program. About the last 15 minutes of today's program will be dedicated to discussing a perspective from a gentleman that has been around some time. Some folks say maybe too long. But we're going to discuss a viewpoint of what can occur when someone feels sneaked up on, surprised. Some surprises are great. Some are terrorizing. I want to talk about a great surprise before we get started on the other issue. Oh, don't let me forget, we are going to tell you how to get a little more money in your pocket. Somewhere along the show here, we'll have Mr. Daryl Mooney join us. He's talking about wealth building. Wealth building means you have to start somewhere. So I think the thing that I like about his program is it allows you to start from nowhere. From wherever you are, you're able to do something that will, from what I've witnessed, increase your income or increase your money, however you want to look at it. I've been catching about 3.5% a week for 3 months. And you know how chicken scared I am. I haven't put a lot of money into it, but I've made 3.5% for every week for 3 months. I don't know how much that adds up to percentage-wise, but I think I put in about $600 and I've made about $300. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. So we'll get a chance to talk to Daryl Mooney about that. Now, when I start talking about money and things of that sort, one of the things that are going to compare you back again to the value, and that's time. I think the thing that's more valuable than money is time. From what I can see, governments can print more money, but I have not been able to find anyone that can create more time. So we're going to go to the next best thing, saving time. If you're in the Inland Empire and you want to somehow try to sneak some of this greatness, this great atmosphere out of the Inland Empire and travel somewhere else and drop off of a bag of good oxygen or good feelings that are generated here. I mean, come on. When you go to Chicago, you're taking more than you're going to get. I'm sorry. I mean, I was raised in Illinois. I love Illinois, but I love California much more. And when I get to Illinois from California, people from Illinois seem to be kind of magnetized to the California that's hanging around on me. Listen, here in California, we have an opportunity in the Inland Empire to use one of the greatest airports that hasn't been used in the world. It used to be Norton Air Force Base. It's now San Bernardino International Airport. The thing that was so great about being Norton was that runway that they had built was big enough to take the heaviest and largest airplanes on the planet. And so when the Air Force upped and left, they did not take that runway. They didn't take all of that great space that Norton Air Force was occupying. And it has been, I can't even think about the years, because that would let you know how old I am. But I can think about the service, the times that people now, in order to, well, forever, if they want to travel out of here, they've got to go to LA or even Ontario, which isn't that as far as LA. But to be able to go to San Bernardino International Airport to travel as a passenger, man, I think that's a great thing. We have the pleasure of Mr. Mark Gibbs being with us this morning. He is the general manager of the he is the manager of the San Bernardino International Airport, our home, and he's our homeboy, I guess that's a good way to put it. Mark, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me down today,
Man,
Wallace.
it's a pleasure to have you in here. Listen, we've got this great airport, and congratulations for the job. I don't know how they gave it to this teenager guy like you. You look like you're about 18 years old, but as we talk to you, you've got the wisdom of any person that I've ever talked to, especially about this great asset we have here in San Bernardino. We're doing very well with cargo flights. The airport's developing well. We've got a great-looking terminal. Not been using that too much. Hip us to what's really getting ready to happen with the passenger flights that are going to be available to us, I guess, beginning here in August. And I'm just excited about it. I'm almost ready. Well, I am. I'm ready to spend some money. If you guys
We're excited about it too, Wallace. Thanks for having me down.
That's a pleasure, man. It's
been a lot happening at the airport in recent years. Cargo we're kind of getting known for, and just to touch on cargo for a second, we weren't in that market until really 2018.
Okay.
We had UPS join the airport. Later that same year, FedEx joined the airport. And on the heels of that, 2 years later, Amazon built a 100-acre facility. And the reason all that investment happened is because there is an underserved market in the Inland Empire. And that what they found was a lot of success. They found a great airport with a really big population center that was really underserved. So we went from dead last in the cargo world in the country to top 20 this year.
Top 20.
So it was a pretty significant change. And in fact, for UPS, we're their largest gateway. It's not a hub. Ontario's a hub. But San Bernardino is their largest gateway in Southern California. And that happened in the first 3 years of UPS's operation. When I say the largest gateway, there's more activity in San Bernardino by UPS than they have at LAX, Long Beach, and John Wayne combined. So it's a pretty significant investment on UPS's
That's
part
that
of it.
supply line thing that we're talking about, the ability to transport goods. And I don't know where all of our goods are coming from. But, is that something you can share? Where the planes are landing from?
Yeah, they're really coming from all over. Coming from Honolulu each day, coming from Portland each day, to Louisville, to New York, to really all over the country. It's a bit of a network. But the reason I wanted to talk about cargo for just a moment is because the success of those cargo carriers quickly led us to the success of passenger service. And that's what we're excited to talk about today, is that, we've been focused on the internal aviation industry for some time, but now we're taking our messaging and we're pointing it outward, because now we've got something to share with the community.
Very good.
Now they can come down to their local airport, park for $5, and fly to San Francisco for $39.
Do what for $5?
Yeah, I know.
What can you do for $5?
It sounds unrealistic. Well, I could maybe fill up my coffee cup for $5.
Right. If you don't go to the big name brand, you probably could. But that's great. How does that influence potential employment here in San Bernardino? What type of employment circumstances we have there at the airport, and how does the new passenger flights affect that?
Yeah, You know, there's a lot of opportunities at the airport these days. So when the Air Force Base left in 92, there was a big void of jobs. 10,000 jobs were lost back then. But we've been working hard over the past 15, 20 years to bring back those jobs, and we've brought back over 17,000 jobs. So the 10,000 that were lost have been far exceeded
So we
at
did
this
our
point in
job
time.
with inflation. We inflated our job numbers to go along with the need. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Because
great.
people are still, oh, we lost all of those jobs with North, and then Kaiser Steel did this, we lost there too. But so we've replaced actually the 10,000 jobs lost and
That's right.
added another 7,000
So
at the airport.
17,000 people come to work in the former base property every day. And it's a pretty significant milestone. We're excited about it. But what it really means for the community with the new airline service is it's a whole new market. And just like with the explosion of air cargo, we want to see passenger service succeed in that same manner. And we think that it can. We think there's a lot of opportunity, and the Inland Empire region needs more choice in air travel.
With what is the number of cargo flights that come in and out of the airport daily, approximately?
Amazon does 9 a day. UPS typically does 6 a day, and FedEx does 2 a day. So the math starts to add up, and then there's peak periods where that volume pretty much doubles.
One of the things that I'm a Highland resident, and I have not been able to. I try to make people laugh, but at the same time, some things that are funny aren't funny. It's funny that I'm not hearing airplanes, but it's not funny. I'm not trying to hear them. I don't. I'm not looking forward to hearing airplanes. So I want to congratulate you on those flights not having made a noise pollution situation. How can we look forward to that being the same situation? Hopefully, getting a couple of hundred flights.
Yeah,
a couple of hundred flights a day.
Everyone perceives noise differently, and we're mindful of that. The airport's not going anywhere. The Highland community is not going anywhere, nor is Redlands or San Bernardino or Colton or Loma Linda or anyone else. So we have to find ways to make sure that we're being good partners. We're a part of the community just like those cities are. And we always take a partnership approach, and if there's something that we can do better, we try to do better. And so as this air traffic is increasing, we're working in the background to try to train pilots how to have the least impact on those communities.
Okay.
So that's been an ongoing effort for the last 2.5 years. And we've created some resources and a program to help identify those issues and then how we can best resolve them.
Well, very good. I've not heard a lot about people complaining, but I do know that human nature, people have moved next to the airport during that period of time when there was no flights, and they're not, I'm at an airport, but I don't hear airplanes, and so the first time they hear an airplane, it's like, oh my God. But the airport's been here for that many years, and new people moving in sometimes can not know what to expect. So it's good to hear that you're paying attention to that, and anything we can do to help make noise about you not making noise.
Community matters,
Yes,
and we take it very seriously. The pandemic was a little interesting because people who drove to work every day all of a sudden weren't. They were at home, so they were experiencing more flights than they knew were taking place at the airport. So that kind of stuff matters to us.
So we are looking forward to August being able to take passenger flights to where as a result of what occurring with what airline?
Yeah, so in March of this past year, we were super excited to announce with our airline partner, Breeze Airways, that they're going to begin offering...
Breeze Airways.
Breeze Airways, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they were going to begin offering daily flights between San Bernardino on to San Francisco and continuing to Provo, Utah. And it was great. So this airline is fairly new. It was founded by an industry legend, a guy by the name of David Neeleman. He is the founder of JetBlue, Azul down in Brazil. He also founded Morris Air, which was ultimately folded into Southwest Airlines.
So the guy knows a little bit about the
He's
business.
been in the business for a long time, bit of a legend, had great successes in each of the airlines that he established. And so for us, with this new brand that came on, with this new product, we're really excited because when he establishes a brand, he takes a lot of pride in it, and it's a great product that they have. So that combined with the airfares that they're offering, we're really excited to get the word out about it because $39 to San Francisco, there's no way you could drive there unless you're maybe in a Tesla for $39.
Yeah, but the 39's got to be added to the thousands that it took to buy the Tesla. Listen, 39 bucks to San Francisco?
Yeah, it's the best deal in town, and with that, you're only paying $5 a day in parking. It's the best deal in town,
Does that
Wallace.
mean that they can fly from San Francisco to San Bernardino
That's right.
for the same amount of money?
That's exactly right.
So
$39
if you were
each
a
way.
millionaire, you could go live in San Francisco and come work in San Bernardino. But
You
more
could.
than likely, if you're in if you are a resident of San Francisco right now, and you've got that good long-term job, now they found a way to finally be able to afford to work in San Francisco. Live in San Bernardino and commute to San Francisco every day. Listen, guys, get on the phone, call your friends in San Francisco, let them know that we have found the inflation killer. You can actually get rich working in San Francisco, living in San Bernardino. I love it. It sounds great to me. That's a whole new campaign.
I'm in. I'm in.
That's still. And on to Utah, what's their expansion? Are they? The obvious question for me is, well, what about Vegas? You know, I mean, the way the freeways are not free on the way to Vegas on the weekend, and it just seems like that's an automatic. Is something like that in the makings, or is that something that I could put together and maybe get rich?
Well, I tell you, I would be rich if I only had $1 for every time someone's asked me
That's that
when we're going to get an
question.
airline to Las Vegas because I've been at the airport for coming up on 20 years.
Congratulations.
And yeah, and even with this new service, we're excited about the San Francisco market because San Francisco, you can get anywhere in the world. You can connect to London or Japan or South America or anywhere in the United States, right? It's a major hub airport in the country. It's also a business market. It's also a leisure market. And turns out it's also a suburban market because now you can live here and fly to San Francisco, as you mentioned earlier. So it's great.
But this Vegas thing.
But Vegas, boy, I tell you, even with the excitement everyone has about San Francisco and Provo, everyone is still asking me today, and they have for the last 20 years, when are you going to get to flight to Vegas? So,
me ask
yeah,
you
it's a
this.
no-brainer to me as well. But, you know, I like to think that San Bernardino is in the center of the universe. Turns out that, you know, it's a whole domestic network with requires more airplanes and more pilots and everything else. But I think we've got a strong position to pick up that market.
We are an international airport. How is that being utilized, or is that really significant at this point in the development of the airport?
It's like our other markets.
Okay.
The international piece is really important, and it's been growing in importance. So if you were to go back 6 years, 7 years, we only had a handful full of international flights every year. Now we're doing about 500 a year. And every year, our international market grows about 20%.
So internationally, where are we flying now?
Well, we don't have direct commercial passenger
Okay.
international flights, but what we do have is a lot of charters. So we'll have, you know, passenger charters from all over the world that come in, or we'll have, you know, corporate flights that come in internationally.
Boy, when
And-
you said charter, my heart just jumped out of my mouth, and I went all the way back to Vegas again with this concept. I said, oh my goodness. He said, charter flights. Do we have any charter flights coming out of there going to Las Vegas, for instance?
We have corporate flights that go to Las Vegas, but nothing for the passenger market at this point. At this point, I'll put stress on that.
Well, you know, I encourage entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship and things of that sort. And I don't know, is there a, if we were talking about boats, I know that there's several groups out in the Inland Empire that book boats and trips and say, okay, we're going to go down to so-and-so and such for 3 days and come back, and they use existing charter opportunities. Is that something that could occur here in San Bernardino for flights to Vegas?
I'm right there with you, Wallace. Las
All
Vegas
right.
is a market waiting to happen for us.
Okay, I'm going to shut up now because you just told me how we could go make some money. I'm going to bring that up to my next guest. Yeah, we're going to take a guest. We're going to my next guest, Mr. Daryl Mooney. These what to do with all that money Mooney's making. I guess that's a theme we can start with him on. I would like to be part of whatever we can do to encourage people to use the airport. I don't know if getting kids to come out for, tours and things of that sort. I don't know how we could encourage people to have events there. If that's, and I see we do have some wonderful events out there.
We had a great event last night. We pulled out the world famous airplane stage, pulled it out in front of the terminal, had a crowd of nearly 3,000, and the band Shade played. They've got a hit song, Trampoline. Got about 2 billion streams on Spotify. Everyone had a wonderful time. It was a free, all ages event. Children, old people, and everyone in between came out for it. It was a wonderful evening.
Mark, there's a lot to talk about. There's much to do. And I, once again, of all of the great things that you're doing, one of them that I'd like for you to share with us is where you're getting this magic I can stay young juice that you're taking. It's obvious, and you can deny it, whatever you want to do, but we'll help package it and help sell it because you're looking younger. I don't know if it's a job or what it is, but congratulations to San Bernardino, the entire Inland Empire, for what we're able to do at the airport. And I guess we have to give a lot of that credit to you. You've been there pretty much the length of time that the airport's been independently ours. So congratulations to you and us on that.
Thanks for all that you do, Wallace. We appreciate it.
We look to do much more, and we'd like to have you come in more. And Mark, I'm going to be in your ear about the potential of charter and what has to be done. So if you could go kind of put that packaging together, save yourself a little time in the future, because I know that we have people in the Empire that would like to put some in so they could take some out on the situation, like getting people from San Bernardino to Las Vegas and back, get it, guys, and back on a regular basis. Mark Gibbs, a pleasure to talk to you. I look forward to our next time.
Thanks so much, Wallace, and I would encourage your listeners to visit flysbd.com for more information and to link on to Breeze Airways if they're interested in booking tickets.
We'll do that. Get me a little message. I'll read it every week.
All right. Thanks so much, Wallace. Always a pleasure, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we got a little break here. We want to pay a couple of bills. When we come back, we're going to get a chance to talk to Mr. Daryl Mooney about the Novatech project that allows you to make money while you're asleep. Important thing to be able to do, guys. All right? Ready, sir?
Hey, kiddo, ready to catch that movie?
Almost. Wallet, phone, keys, mask. Yep, all set.
A mask? It's not required, is it?
No, but it's gonna be busy and crowded, so I'll feel better with it on.
You right. It is opening night. Let me grab mine.
Nice! You passed the vibe check, Dad.
Wearing a mask when it can help protect you and others is just one way to keep each other safer. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
We now return to the adventures of Vaccine and Booster, Ultimate COVID-19 Warriors.
Vaccine.
Yeah, Booster.
This COVID-19 and its pesky variants have gotten way out of hand.
They are no match for us.
Repeat the mission.
Protect the community, reduce hospitalizations and death.
Because we're the best protection available. Fact.
Watch out! Incoming!
Shields up. Take that, COVID-19.
And that.
find safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines and boosters near you. Visit myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
This is KCAA.
Oh, baby. All right, guys, this is it. We have this opportunity. It's called Novatech, Novatech. I'm not sure of all of the great things that they can do for you, but I do know that as I have invested some money, and what did I say, about $600-700 three months ago, and it's made me $300. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. I can't reach Mr. Mooney at this point, and all I can do is provide a lot of enthusiasm. I need him to give you the facts, but add this to the deal. You give me a call, 909-915-7922, and I'll hook you up with some information that will allow you to discover for yourself the potential of Novatech and make a decision yourself as to what you would like to do. And I will say this, if that decision is to participate, I'd ask you to get back in touch with me because I have a little scholarship for you to help you make up your mind and to help you discover what's going on. I am willing to help you get into the program. That means I'll put a little money in, but we're going to make a deal for me to get mine out as soon as you get this stuff moving the way that you are satisfied with. But we'll pay to help you get on the bus and get you to the ride, to the information. So 909-915-7922. I discussed a little bit earlier today the fact that we have good and bad pretty much taking place all the time. I don't want to get stuck on the potential of ignorance, the potential of racism, white supremacy. Those potentials are always there. They have been there. Those are dangers. America was built on the concept of white supremacy. Now, you can't tell me that, bringing people in to be slaves based on the color of their skin isn't a reflection of supremacy. Oh, yeah. No, there were white people who were indentured slaves, use the word slave, but when you have a beginning and an ending in your penalty, that's pretty much just simply called a prison sentence, which isn't cool, but it's a lot cooler than slavery. When you want to destroy or justify your destruction of another species of another race of people or another family of people, they can be the same color. But if you just want to destroy them, you don't want to like them no more. You start making up stuff about them that dehumanizes them. You don't want anybody to think that they have any human qualities and that they have no reason for you to respect or care what occurs to them. And when you have slaves, people that are there just to do for you, making them human doesn't work too well. You got to make them something less than that. And so the propaganda, the speech, the story that goes along with enslaving people is going to be filled with lies. Oh, they like it. They're fine. They're not, Oh, they need us. We're bringing them into the world of civilization. They're savages. They don't know what to do with the wonders of the world. They never build anything. On and on and on. Oh, they eat their babies. All they want to do is, the men, all they want to do is chase white women. You got to watch that stuff. Dehumanization gets you to the point of where if you're working in a big park or in a parade and you're dressed as one of the great Sesame Street characters that young children all over the world have grown up loving and wanting to touch and be part of the affection of, and you walk past a little black child as though she's not there, and when she walks following you, you continue to ignore her. Boy, that takes a little bit of, you're not here. You know, it takes a lot of, I don't see you. What are you here for? Get out of the way. Move, kid. Well, that just happened. A lot of people say, well, the guy's so tall, he maybe didn't see her. Maybe, you know, if it were not the repetition of these insults, these things that say black people are not worthy, to the point of where you got to go back 20 years, 40 years, and hear the guy had to come up with a song, you know, I'm black and I'm proud. Why do you have to sing that? Because everybody's telling me that I shouldn't be proud, that because I'm black, I should be ashamed. I'm black and I'm proud. Oh, okay. Well, we rode that horse and things looked pretty good for a while, and now, but black men keep getting killed by police, using up all the police bullets. Man, my goodness, why don't the black guys stop using up all the police bullets? Well, believe me, we would like to. But there's so many of them shot and killed by police under color of law and authority that you got to laugh to keep from crying. But the laughter is a tear also. Last Saturday, not yesterday, but last Saturday, a young man was killed by, at first people thought it was gang members. Gang members? Well, yeah. First, the people that were standing around watching this simply saw a car pulled into the parking lot. Two men get out of the car and within steps out of the car begin shooting at a man who had walked toward the car, saw something that made him run, saw something that made him turn around and run away and get shot. Say it again. Car rolls up into a parking lot. Two men get out and start shooting at a man who, upon seeing them, had turned and started running away. Looked like a gangbangers kind of thing. Looked like a hit. What is this? Well, my goodness, look to our surprise when we find that this was a police operation. Oh, they were uniformed policemen. Yeah, well, the Jackson 5 wore uniforms, but they weren't police uniforms. Come on. A uniform simply means they were dressed alike. They were dressed in black. They didn't have anything on that made them look like police. No signage that said, we are the police. Now, somebody's going to tell me that, oh, when he got out of the car, he screamed, police, police. Well, when he got out of the car, he had his camera on. It didn't say, nobody heard that. Oh, well, there's a 30-second delay. Well, who set up that? Why would you have a 30-second delay? Seems to me that you may have a delay on the visual so that the guy can explain why he's pulling over somebody in the first place. Seems to me that if I've got a body camera on, part of the deal is, oh, I'm stopping the car. We're getting ready to go in here and shoot this guy because it's Thursday. Well, it actually was Saturday. Well, maybe that wasn't going to be their script. So what was going to be their script? What did they actually say? If I can infer that I thought they were planning to do a shooting, you guys should be able to prove to me that you weren't by saying, no, we're here to deliver justice. We're here to inquire. We're here to see, oh, there's a reason to. So what was the reason to pull in there in the first place? Why are we not using police cars? And let me go to the police story. The police say that this guy had the background of doing this. He used to do that, and he's got a record for doing this. And, we think he was over there doing something illegal or securing some kind of illegal operation. Okay, so did you go over there with a search warrant? Oh, it turns out this guy wasn't really the subject of their stop. They were looking for some kind of gambling operation, and they say that this young man approached them with a gun. Well, that's interesting because they did find a gun. But That doesn't ever seem to be a problem for the police, finding a gun. Wallace, you just don't like police. No, I've got police in the family. You know, I have no dislike for people because of their job, but I do have distrust because of the policies that some of these jobs execute or allow executions based on a policy. Let's get beyond who shot John there in the parking lot. Let's get into who really is the blame. Is it the two policemen who followed police policy to shoot a fleeing anybody? Because is he a suspect? Well, he said it looked like he had a gun. Well, part of that report is that the young man's mother says she was on the phone with him at the time this occurred. I beg your pardon? I was talking to my son on the phone when all of a sudden I didn't hear him talk anymore and all I heard were gunshots. I beg your pardon? He was on the phone talking to you? He didn't get to say goodbye. He didn't say anything after the gunshot started. Now, I don't know if the police say, well, they found a gun and a phone. Great chance that what they saw in his hand was a phone. It may have been a gun. I don't know. But I tell you what, if I were in the business of approaching people who may have guns, I'd have a policy and a procedure that would, make it kind of safe for me to find out if they had a gun before I started assuming they definitely had one and opened fire. Because that's my job. Okay, so they think they saw a man with a gun, and they started firing. Well, from what I understand, nobody's been fired, nobody's been put on administrative leave, and if they have, they probably have done so with pay. It appears to me that the city of San Bernardino and the police department feel that these policemen were following policy. That it's okay, policy-wise, for you to operate under the color of authority while not looking like it, undercover, and expect the people who you are arresting or approaching to understand that you're police. You roll up in the car, you pull out your guns, and you start shooting. That's a horrendous policy. That's not one that I think most San Bernardinoites, Inland Empire residents, Inland Empire visitors would feel comfortable about. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to end up, but I can say one thing, that the fact that it started is the problem. You've got family, lost a brother, lost a son, lost an uncle, lost a friend. I can't speak for the young man's character. Doesn't matter. They did not go and shoot him because of anything in his past. They used that as an excuse after they shoot him, but they didn't know all of that about him. Those two policemen didn't know that about him. I don't think they even knew him. From what they're saying, they saw somebody with a gun and that somebody ran away. And then as he ran away, he presented a threat to them because if he were successful in getting away, he might find shelter from which to shoot back at them. I don't know. Maybe the young man had a permit to carry the gun. All you people who got permits to carry guns should get a little worried that upon seeing you with the gun, you become a potential subject of, let's go shoot him. I feel endangered. That's what the police are. If his life, if he feels threatened, the police league and the police Union, hey, man, if you scare me, I got a right to kill you. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Did you get a job that part of the title of it is be scared, be alert, be careful? So when you see somebody with a gun who is, let's say, dressed in a suit, and he's talking to, and his gun falls out, do you shoot him? I mean, I know, well, I could think of a person that I think a lot of people know carries a gun. Is probably an ex-district attorney. So when you get in the elevator with him, do you get scared? You pull your gun out because you know he's got a gun? Okay, the guy he doesn't look like a businessman. Well, now, what kind of businessman are you talking about? He doesn't look like you? Doesn't look like who? Well, he's black. Tell the truth. He's black. That scared the hell out of you, and you just had to shoot him. Folks, we got to do better, and there is a way to do better. We definitely have to do better. I'm going to take a short break. When you come back, I'm going to tell you what better looks like, what better feels like. And I don't want you hating the police. I want you to hate the policies that they are allowed or sometimes driven to function under. We'll be right back. Let's come up with some policies that make it easier for you and I to encounter our police. Call our police with confidence that they're going to be working to save us. We'll be right back.
COVID-19 vaccines help keep our families safer from the risks of COVID-19. Now, children 6 months and older are eligible to receive that same reassuring protection. As a parent, you might have questions or want to find out more about COVID-19 vaccines for kids. And that's okay. Talk with your doctor today or visit vaccinateall58.com to learn more so you can feel good about the facts. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
This is KCAA.
We're back here in the wonderful Inland Empire, KCAA Radio, on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. Love San Bernardino. Love the people in San Bernardino. Love the Inland Empire. We are the center of the universe, the gateway to Southern California, one of the greatest views on the planet. We just got famous again for a police shooting. Nah, not what we want to get famous for at all. But a young man, Mr. Robert Harris, was shot by the police, San Bernardino police, last Saturday, not yesterday, but the Saturday before. Because of, I'm not sure. They say because he ran away upon seeing them and that he appeared to have a gun, and that running away may have provided him shelter from which he could shoot at the police, except that he didn't know they were police. How could he? They weren't dressed as police. They looked like heavy hitters. They hopped out of the car and started shooting. Now, maybe he recognized them as police and ran away. I don't know that part. Maybe these guys were, buddies and had been doing business together, and if that's the case, they knew each other well enough to break this guy down or go find him somewhere else and not have to kill him. So if they had a history of knowing him and they killed him, I don't know, maybe they wanted to shut him up. I don't know. Do you? Well, no, the police are, you got to believe the police. No, I believe people that I have not caught in a lie. Now, if you've never lied to me, I have no reason not to believe you. Now, let's go. Well, no. If you're satisfied after you've used your inquisitive mind, your I really want to know attitude, if you're satisfied with the story as to what really happened, I'd love for you to come share it with us. I don't care what it is. If it's, if you can logically justify what you're saying, I'd like to hear about it. I'm concerned that the policies that we are being allowed or forced to or tricked into living with are things that can be changed, especially the ones that take away our freedom, the things that increase the suppression or depression of people by authority, simply for the sake of authority. Well, what are you talking about, Wallace? Well, for one thing, we're sitting here talking about air pollution and misuse of gas and this, that, and the other, but in the middle of the night when there's nobody around and I get stopped at a red light, I have to sit there. And how much gas do I waste? Well, Wallace, what are you talking about? I'm talking about policy. So we're in a policy in the habit of sitting around at a red light when nobody's there. No reason for me to sit there waiting at 2 o'clock in the morning for some traffic to come that's not going to come. I should be able to use my judgment and run that red light and go where I need to go. The policy should change. Well, Wallace, you'll be breaking the law. Well, if I cause no harm, what does it matter? Now, if I decide to run out there and because I didn't look good and I caused an accident, then I'm just as responsible as I ever was. Matter of fact, even more if I ran the red light. But if I cause no harm, anyway. So policy. We've got policies that are set up just to restrict, to hold, to maintain an authority over our conduct that in some cases, I'll have to admit, probably is needed. Because anytime you're too silly to want to wear a mask when everybody that's coughing around you is infected, but I don't want to wear no mask, something's wrong. Anytime you're willing to let your eyes tell you something and someone who's across the country tell you something else about what you saw, folks, that's bad policy. You need to be able to have some confidence in the things around you. So, policy-wise, do we want police to ride around in cars that don't look like police cars? Well, that's a question. In some cases, yes. But in general, do we get, well, let me tell you this. Let me suggest something. You're rolling down the freeway, nobody around, you're just passing all the cars in the world. These silly guys are going 70 and you're rocking at 80, 85, feeling good. But there in the distance on the hill, you see what looks like a police car, highway patrol, black and white. What do? Do you hit it on the accelerator and say, oh, heck, let me speed? No, you don't. Just the hint of the police car throws you back into conduct that is civilized. And you back your foot up off of that accelerator, back down to letting somebody catch you so they look faster than you do. How do I know I've done it? Sure, I've done it. I know what happens when I look at a police car. I get a little shiver up the back of my neck that says, oh, boy, remember what your mom and daddy told you? And you look at you. You're out here going 85. You better slow down. You get behind some white people that's going 85, get in between them, then you might have a shot. My point, the appearance of the car, its conduct, it doubles the ability of the police presence. I say they ought to park police cars pretty much all over town. Darken the windows so you can't see if somebody's inside or not. Turn the radio on. Do something to make it look active. That would more than triple the police force, just putting out a few more cars. for people, there's a police car, slow down. Oh, there's a policeman on there. There's something to seeing the police and knowing that they're the police. That adds to our desired civilization. And I don't care where that is. Actually, the same thing occurs in Beverly Hills as it does in South LA. You see the police car, you're going to slow down. You see the policeman, you're going to kind of straighten up. Now, what does that mean, kind of straighten up? I don't know. Because most of us aren't doing any damn thing wrong. But when you see the cop, you double check yourself, be sure your fingernails are clean. You don't want to, So, when you roll with full authority as a policeman, and you don't look like one, you don't smell like one, and you don't talk like one, where does my manhood supposed to go just because you decide you didn't want to wear your uniform and you want to come in and push people around because you got a gun? Oh, wait a minute. Because you got a gun, and you also think other people may have a gun because of the right to carry. A brave man, a good guy with a gun will take care of a bad guy with a gun. Yeah, well, let's go to Texas and see how well that works out. Guns, I'm not going to say don't have one, and I'm not going to say they're not safe. My grandpa kept a shotgun and a rifle right there on the fireplace mantle. I guess some of you guys ride around with them in the back of your truck. And now with, the movement toward free concealed carry, especially there in Texas, I'm surprised we're not reading about a OK Corral situation every day. But the conduct, the policy, that's what it's all about. We need to attend our city council meetings. We need to attend our regulatory meetings, our supervisor meetings. We need to let people know how we feel about what police need to be doing in order for them to feel safe. And I'll tell you, if I'm a policeman, I don't think I'm feeling safe if everybody is able to carry a gun. I just don't. But then again, if I'm allowed to shoot first and ask questions later, maybe that kind of evens things out. Folks, we're in America. We're free. If we want to have a gun, if everybody votes to have a gun, I don't know. Some of us may leave. Some of us may just sharpen up our quick draw thing, And there are people who maybe depend on being bigger than other folks to walk around and bully folks. And maybe there's other people that are very small and want to carry a big gun to keep the other bully off of them. Everybody's got a point of view that makes sense from where they stand. We've got to figure out how to regulate our lives and honor those positions that everyone is standing in, because everybody's got a right to be here. If they didn't, God would strike them with lightning. Isn't that something we all believe? No? Well, I'll tell you what, there's some people I'm not standing too close to because I don't know. That lightning strike may occur, and it may not. But folks, let's stay civilized. Let's stay respectful. Let's understand that there are going to be ups and downs and things that we want and things that we don't want. Let's try to magnetize ourselves to those things that we don't want, that we do want. I'll stay away from those things that we don't. We can smell trouble a mile away. Let's stay away from it if we can. And if it chases us down and pulls up into the parking lot, God help you. And you can't depend on the clothes you wear to be sure that they're going to treat you fair. So with that, I say, see you next week under two circumstances. One, if the good Lord's willing. Two, if the creek don't rise. God bless you. See you then.
You're on board KCAA